And we are live.
Ah,
Just like that. Let's
read our
get it, good
bodies.
people. You know what?
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey.
Where did
Shut
those
up.
glasses come from?
Where they at?
What are you talking about?
Them on your head.
I'm Dr. Decor. You don't like my
I didn't say I didn't like them. I said where they come from.
This is a gift.
Well,
This is a
The
gift.
whole part.
I was trying to find some Chloe glasses, but I don't think they sell them no more. You know what I'm saying?
what kind of glasses?
Chloe, you don't remember Chloe glasses back in the day?
Nah, dude.
Mm-mm.
But you look.
I look.
Mm.
You know, they got the little hearts on them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, Fatine, what's the?
I like those though. I like
Yeah.
those. Let me borrow those.
It was a
What's up,
gift.
Dan?
What's
Oh, it
the
was a gift.
Fatine?
You know what? How y'all feeling this evening?
I like what I saw out there on the title. That I was like, it made me smile. So let's see where do you go. But it made me feel good in my heart to see Father's Day out there. That was nice. For the
Listen.
women to think of us, that was nice.
Come on now, you guys are not forgotten.
Hold up. Did you? I don't think you read the whole thing, bro. You better
Oh
read
no,
that
I
again.
only saw a Father's Day edition. That's all I
She's being
saw.
very generous with this letter to you men. So don't go there. All right. It is Father's Day. You guys be nice. Well, Father's Day weekend.
Right.
So y'all be extra
Right, happy
nice.
Father's
Shout out
Day.
to everyone.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone out there that has that bell. They click that bell so every time we are live, they can see us come on. We appreciate you guys so much.
Shouts out to all the fathers out there, and shouts out
I
to all
can't
the...
hear you.
You can't hear me?
It seemed like you're so low.
Does it?
Nah, he's good.
Go ahead.
I
Maybe
just
it's
have to turn him up a little bit. Yeah, but yeah.
Well, shouts out to all the fathers out there, and shouts out to all the women out there that got a full beard and mustache.
Shout out
You
to
know
the
what?
fathers. Wait, let me say this. Let me before
Right.
y'all go there. Shout out to the fathers out there. Shout out for Juneteenth for it becoming a federal holiday.
Yeah.
And shout out to. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but at the end of the day, I do. You know, Mother's Day is for mothers, but then there's some fathers that are holding it down because the mothers, may not be there. And same thing for the mothers that are holding it down when the fathers are out there. There's no way that I can go without saluting all those that are standing up.
Absolutely.
Hey. Thank you, Fatine. Shouts out to everyone out there watching. Of course, I don't know what Marvin is talking about on Father's Day gift.
Take it up
Talking
with
about
your
my
baby
glasses.
brother, Marvin.
Oh, your glasses was a Father's Day gift?
Maybe.
Well, you look fantastic, darling.
But we don't want to care to share that information, so we'll just keep it on, keep on moving.
Right.
Keep it on moving.
Well, what's going on, Janice? All of you out there that's watching the tea tonight, welcome to Tanky Tea of Life. This is where we keep it real. We talk about any and everything. I am your host, Veronica. All of you out there that's watching the tea tonight, welcome. Somebody have their phone. This is where we keep it real. We talk about any. Fatine, is that you?
No. That's
Not
Victor.
me.
That was Victor.
No, it wasn't. Don't put that shit on me. That was you.
That wasn't me.
What's going on now? Come
You know,
on.
we're trying to give y'all props for Father's Day, and y'all just got on.
Hey, Victor, you said you single. You left your lotion on, you know.
I don't use lotion. My hand is soft enough.
What's the lotion?
No calluses.
Veronica, we gonna let them have that. We're just gonna let them have that.
That flew right over Veronica saying that first.
Hey,
don't have-
I get it. I get
I'm
it.
speechless.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. I'm trying to wait till Mr. Sammy come on. He gave me a shout out last week.
Shout out to
I
my
appreciate
co-host, Dr. Decor.
How y'all doing today?
Would you like to
Wow.
explain that name tonight, sir? Because I mean, it's a different name every night lately. What's going on tonight?
Well, I mean, I'm feeling extra you know what I'm saying, exclusive tonight. Let's just say exclusive. I got my glasses. I got my Kevin Samuel candle going on. So
Okay.
Kevin Samuel.
What's the scent? What's the scent?
it's called whipped coffee. So I'm going to be in the exclusive mood tonight. So I'm just.
Are you gonna light it?
I might. You know what? I think
Sounds like fairy music to me.
my closet catch on fire tonight.
A fairy candle and a fairy music.
It sounds like, you know, like Peter Pan music.
I will light my candle. How about that?
Light the candle, set the mood. Why don't you?
I might cut the light off.
Oh,
Okay
then. What's going on, Brother Fatine, all the way from New York, WBLS radio station?
Good to be back in the house. Good to be back in the house.
Back with us tonight. So glad to have you back, my brother.
Thank you. Good
And
to be
my
back.
lovely sister, Deanna. You are looking fabulous tonight, my dear.
Thank you. Shouts out to Salon 316.
Mhm.
Thank you. I tried.
Listen,
Mhm.
I can't wait to get this done tomorrow.
Listen, it brings out another person in you.
Honey.
Okay.
Okay. I
Okay.
don't know anything about that. They just get a little edge up or whatever.
And yeah, think
What's
they
the
doing
edge up?
something.
What is the edge up?
Really?
Edge up. Come on now.
Don't even
I
explain.
know a little.
She
Haven't
told you
seen-
she went to hair school.
Okay.
If we came up here looking like Reverend Ike or Little Richard, y'all have something to say, so be careful.
Yeah, I would.
Yep. Mhm.
I would
I
definitely.
got hair now. I got hair up here.
Absolutely.
Oh, Lord. Marvin, are you being messy already?
No, Marvin is definitely not being messy.
Shouts
He's
out.
being supportive.
He is
Mhm.
Team Vic.
I mean, really.
I'm Team Marvin all day long. That he's LeBron and I'm AD.
Ooh.
Veronica, we're all we got. I got you, sis.
Thank you, sis.
Mhm.
I don't know about these dudes. Like, really.
Yeah. Shout out to little Florence and Darlington people down there. My cousins Pat and Angel checking us out tonight.
But why you gotta
Okay.
say little Florence and little?
Okay.
I said my
Yeah, you did.
big Florence and big Darlington.
Okay, get it together.
Dollar Town.
Yeah, okay.
All of you out there, thanks so much for watching tonight. The letter came over. Of course, Father's Day weekend is this weekend. Salute to all the fathers out there. The
Yeah.
ones that's making it happen, the ones that, you know, keeping it down, keeping it real in their kids' life. Shouts out to all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day to you, and I hope you have a very wonderful Father's Day.
As well as to all the fathers who stepped up. Happy Father's Day.
Exactly.
There you go.
Most definitely. So, tonight's letter is definitely about a father. And once again, thank you all who have your bell set for when we come on live. You actually can see it when we go live. And for those of you who have not clicked that bell yet, go ahead and click that bell so that y'all know when the T is about to put it down. Okay. So let's get into this letter. Since it's Father's Day, it's kind of I'll let y'all be the judge of this letter. All right. So it goes like this. My son, father is the absolute worst. My son is 11 years old and he is my son is 11 years old and he is in and out my son's life. He comes around when he feel it is convenient for him, which is birthdays and Christmas. He calls my son maybe every 2-3 months, but will get on social media and act as though he is. Let me turn mine because something is echoing.
Yep.
Let me see where was that. He calls my son maybe every 2 to 3 months, but will get on social media and act as though he is the father of the year. I try so hard not to put him up for child support because my son does not need anything from him. I've been providing for him without any help since he was born, but since he want to get out here and support a child that does not even belong to him, I went to the courts 2 years ago. Once I did that, he tried to act like a better dad. That lasted for a good 3 months and then back to the same old deadbeat. I'm always talking to my son and telling him not to worry about his dad because I'm going to take care of him no matter what. I will always have his back. And that he never have to worry about me leaving him like his dad did. These men out here acting like they are real men and taking care of their kids, trying to look good for the social media. Sit down and please do not expect for us women to shout you out for Father's Day. This one day doesn't mean nothing if you're not on your job 365 days a year. To all the real dads, I salute you. To my son, wannabe dad, get your life and take care of your own blood. This day is definitely not about you. Men on the T, please define what a real dad role is all about. And hopefully you guys are in your children's life. Well, okay then. And you know what? Since it's Father's Day weekend coming up, I'm going to step back and I'm going to let you men.
Oh, no.
Start the tea, man.
Go ahead. Let's not.
Well, the letter specifically asks for men on the T.
Please define what a real father is.
Well, I go ahead, Vic.
I mean, y'all want me to go
he's the
first?
co-host. I can't step over.
Go first, Veronica.
I'll go. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, first of all, and a lot of women may get mad at me for saying this, but I didn't like the way she kept saying my son, my son, my son, my son. And I don't want to say, because I mean, when you bring a child into this world, you need to step up and take responsibilities of, because that woman did not bring this child into the world by herself. You actually put your little sperm or, floating around. She became pregnant. So it's not like it happened on her own. Okay. So that being said, you need to be a part of that child's life. Okay. Mm-hmm. No child deserves to be raised by a woman only, even though shouts out to all the single moms out there that are holding it down. But every child deserves their father in their life. And for those of you who have missed out on raising your children, you're not in your kid's life, shame on you, because that child, whether it's a daughter or a son, deserves their father in their life. Like, for real. No child should have to go through that. You should be there to see your child first, hear your child first word. You should be there to see your child take their first steps. You should be there to see your child go to kindergarten, whatever it is. You should be there. You should want to be there to experience that. That's your blood. So why would you not want to be in your child's life? That makes no sense to me at all. Now, hopefully she didn't start off by saying my son, my son, my son, my son, and could have, I don't want to say that she provoked this dude for not being a dad, because there's no excuse for not being a dad at all. There's no excuse. But that part I didn't like. And I guess she thinks she does have that right to say my son, because he's not a part of the child's life. Like she said in the letter, he only come around for birthdays and Christmas. Okay. She put him up for child support 2 years ago, The child is 11 years old. She didn't want to put him up for one reason. I guess she didn't want to run to the court system and have to get them involved. But she felt like she had to do that because he's, according to her, he is taking care of someone else's child. That I do not understand, because I know quite a few men that does this. You have a child, your blood child, but you prefer to go take care of someone else's child and not your own child. I would never understand that, ever. And there is, like I said, I know quite a few men that does this. They'll step up to the plate when they get with another woman, and they'll take care of that child like it's their very own, which you should, because when you get involved with someone else, you are taking the responsibility of becoming, that child's step parent or whatever you want to call it. So I get it. But you need to keep in mind that you have a blood daughter, a son out there that you need to be taking responsibility for as well. So when you put someone else's child above yours, that's sickening to me. I don't get it. But ma'am, I mean, you saying you was taking care of him since he was born. You don't need this man. So only thing I say to you is, please do not continue to talk to your child about your dad, because you telling your son that he don't need you. I mean, that you don't need his dad because you're there, you're taking care of all the responsibilities. Don't tell him that, because he need his dad, whether you like it or not. He need his dad in his life. So don't talk bad about his father, even though he's not doing the things that he's supposed to be doing as a dad. I just feel like we as women should not talk down to our children about their father, and vice versa. Men should not talk down about mothers to their kids, because one day they're going to resent that you talk bad, especially if they become close. You don't know if your son is ever going to have a real close relationship with his father. So just don't come in between that. Don't stop that. I'm just saying. I don't care how old he is. If his father come back in his life, that is his father. And if he want to respect that and accept his father in his life, then that's just something that just have to happen. That's that child's decision at that point. I'll give my other 2 cents later. I think I rambled enough.
2 cents? You mean your other $5.50?
Well, hell, I meant, see, I'm not going to curse tonight. I told y'all to go first because it's Father's Day weekend, but y'all didn't want to go first.
I mean, it's what it is. My thing is, I don't think another father can tell another. I don't think a man can tell another man what a father is. Some people can only do what they can do. If you spending time with your child, I mean, if you doing all you can do, in my eyes, you're a good father. We only hear one side of the story, so we don't know exactly, what is the issue of why he is not in his son's life. So she says, women tend to sometimes make it really hard to be in a child's life. So with that being said, I'm not going to really, touch on as much as you touched on, but I just think that it's really, really, really hard for someone to say, for me to sit here and say, okay, this is the characteristics of a good father. I can only tell you what I think, what I'm saying, what I do. Should I say what I do? My kids would have to tell you what a good father is. There's no way I can tell you if I'm a good father or not. So I'm pretty sure we'll jump all around it, but that's all I really got to say.
Brother Fatin, you want to go before Deanna?
Yeah, I'll jump in here real quick. So I'm gonna take a little different road than Victor on there, but I do understand what Victor is saying here. So it's not about being combative. I'm gonna do 2 things first. So first, I'm gonna address what the young lady asked us men on this panel to define from, I guess, our perspective what a good father is. And I do, again, it comes down to our children But sometimes well, let me just say this: a good father is a father who stands up and it takes his responsibility seriously and does what he can do. And what I mean can do, there are so many people feel that if they make a lot of money, well, I could just spend money on my child and that is sufficient. No. A father it takes in consideration what the child is feeling, being that superhero for their children. I recently was down south in South Carolina, and I'm gonna call my young cousin out. Well, my cousin. Oh gosh, no, Angel, and her husband Lavander, and I just watched my little cousin there, where Caitlin, how she moves between her mother and father. And she moves with ease, very easy amongst both of them. And I love what he represents. I'm in a sense of standing up, representing a father, being there for his child, protecting the family. That's what a father to me is: standing up, protecting his family, leading by example, needing to take charge, being strong when need to be strong, but also being compassionate, be loving, understanding, and working through tough times, because sometimes we do have tough times and sometimes we may fall short, but we have to communicate with our children. And I just think that that's what a father is. But what Victor said earlier, to hear from the children, that's important. And a lot of us that are examples for our personal children, our biological children, a lot of times that we are around other children, and we have to be responsible in a sense of how we carry ourselves. I always get on, especially grown men, when their pants are hanging off their backside. I just think that at the end of the day, unless you're on the basketball court, I think that you need to be an example at all times of representing a strong and stand-up person. So that's what I say as a man, as a good father that tries to provide and give his all. Now, for this young lady here, the situation, at the end of the day, I don't know your personal situation. I hate that the father's not in his life, but I do agree with what Veronica said, that if you tear down this man in front of your child when your child is young and impressionable, then you can turn him totally against his father. I think as children grow up, and as the older they get, the more that you can give them, and they can understand. And then that child should have a conversation with the father. If that child feels that his or her father has not lived up to being a father, they should have a conversation. They really should have a conversation at the end of the day. I'm not going to continue to ramble on, but I just wanted to stand up and salute the fathers out there, because I think right now there's fathers out there that feel like I'm doing a good job, and a lot of fathers, especially Black fathers, get a raw deal, and a lot of fathers, good fathers, say nobody is rooting for them. So tonight I'm standing up for those fathers that stand up and do the good job that they can do, provide and give the best. Sometimes you may fall short because everything may not be meeting both ends. But long as you give your all and your best, and you true to your children, that's the best you can do.
Absolutely. Deanna?
I think the problem that I had was not that she reassured her child, but the way that she reassured her child. Like, you don't have to worry about him. I'll never leave you like your father. Like, you don't have to put the father down to build yourself up or to build your son up, because at the age of 11, I can use my son for example. His father's in his life, or whatever the case may be. But in the beginning, it was some issues or whatever, without me saying too much. But anyway, as he got older, they see you don't have to say anything. And I think I'm grateful for my son's father because they do have a relationship and a bond, but you don't have to say anything. 11 is not 5. 11 is not 4. So those are the ages where they may be a little bit confused, but at the age of 11, they are starting to see, and they may not understand, but he knows that mom is holding it down and maybe dad is not. He knows that. And I also wanted to say kind of what Fatine kind of touched on, like some fathers think that they're actually being good fathers by showing up for the big events, for the holidays, for the birthdays, or calling every 2 weeks. They no excuse at all, but they may not know. Like to them, that's what being a father is. So how can I show you what I never, you know what I'm saying? I never had or I never knew. Granted, you have some people who are exceptions to that rule. My father wasn't there, so I'm going to make sure I'm the world's best father. But in more often than not, most cases, that's not how it goes. So I don't know. As far as the child support, I don't necessarily feel like a person should be on child support because you're struggling. You don't have to struggle for the father to be on child support, in my opinion. I don't know.
Can you go further in depth with that, please?
I feel like child support is a personal choice. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a personal choice, and it don't have to be where my child don't need you, so I'm not putting you on child support. I mean, I don't know. It's not that deep. You either will or you won't. It's up to you. So don't get mad all before your child didn't need him, but now that you see he's with somebody else and doing what you wish he would have been doing with your son, now you're mad. So now you go to child support because you're mad when you already had that option out before.
I mean, because according to the letter, she should have been put him up for child support.
Oh, wait.
If he wasn't in, I'm saying, like Deanna said, don't wait until this man get with another woman and then you want to put him up for child support. Okay, if he wasn't doing, if you felt like he wasn't, like if you felt like this man wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing from the beginning, then you should have just left it like that. I mean, no, we can't tell her what to do. I'm just saying, I can't stand to see other women put men up for child support once he get with someone else.
Yeah, they use it as a weapon. They weaponize it. And that's the problem when they weaponize it. And like you just said, oh, he's taking care of someone else's child. So that angers the mother because the mother's busting her backside. If you're going to put the father on child support, it should be a situation where he's not doing what needs to be done. He's capable financially to do what needs to be done, because some people put the fathers on child support, and we do understand that there's a financial obligation there. But sometimes a man walks home with $21. I've seen this. Yeah, you know, well, I understand that. But sometimes it's what I'm talking about is not always on him from the perspective if it's weaponized against him. If you know that this guy is trying, but you decide I'm just going to put him on child support because instead of you giving me $100, I've given you $60, and that's the best I can do because I got to pay this bill. Now you put him on child support, and you get that $100, but now he can't pay his light bill, and now he's in the dark.
That ain't her fault.
Well, at the end of the day, it's not his. It may not be her fault. But I'm saying if it's weaponized, I'm not standing for it. And I'll call it out every damn time if it's weaponized against the person.
All right, so let's put the accountability exactly where it needs to be at. If I drink and drive and I get caught, there are consequences behind that.
Absolutely.
So if I have a child out there,
right,
it really doesn't matter when she puts child support on me if she does, because guess what? That's a consequence that comes with being a father. So if you go out there and you have unprotected sex with a female, you have to say, you know what? I'm willing to accept all responsibilities that come with having unprotected sex, whether it's a disease or whether it's a damn child.
Well, first of all, let's have this. We tend to put this quote unquote always on the man, but it's not always on the man. Sometimes the woman pays child support also.
But absolutely.
Don't sit here and stick it like,
But
oh,
we're not- but
having unprotected sex. But the way we
we're
talk
not
about
talking
it,
about that
we're
right
throwing
now.
it against the man.
But that's
At
not
the
what
end of
we're
the day,
talking about.
the reason why I bring that up, because at the end of the day, I gave you an example. If the man, Victor, you said, and see now, I don't want to say you're being hypocritical till you respond to this. You said if he is doing the best that he can, and I just said that she wants $100, and he can give 60, right? And instead of working with this man, I'm not getting enough. I use child support to weaponize where this man is working hard to try to give you the best that he can. That's why I'm saying at the end of the day, that's not cool.
Fatim, have you ever been on child support?
Never.
Then you don't
Never.
you don't have a leg to stand on.
I stand on both my legs. That's why I haven't been on child support.
I want to say this too, and this kind of is related, but not this particular person's situation. There are a number of reasons, though, that a lot of women use child support. Some women use child support so that they can get whatever they need from the system, right? So if this is so I can get certain benefits, that's why some women use the child support system. So it's a myriad of reasons why people use child support, but I'm kind of like,
is that cool? Is that cool, Deanna?
Yes.
I know some people. No, it ain't. Hell no. Some
How
people use it. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I know some women that sit back and don't get off their ass and use the system. Is a generational thing, and that they sit on. Yeah, you can roll your eyes all you want. I know it. I see this. That they generation sit on the welfare system, have these babies, and play the system generation after generation. They need to get off their ass and go to work, man.
Do that? All women on child support do that?
I didn't say all women on child support do that. I said I know some that do this and do it as a generational thing. Those folks need to be called out.
But I agree. There are those people who do that and who use and who abuse the system.
That's
agree.
What I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Not the ones that need it.
And I know people who do that. But I guess what I was just trying to say, like, you just never know a person's backstory. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is how I can get, I don't know, housing or whatever, then that's what most people are going to do. A lot of people are going to do that. But to me, the system isn't you shouldn't be on a system forever. It should be a stepping stone, in my opinion. But
I was gonna respond to Mr. Sammy because he made a point.
Hold on. So I'm gonna need for y'all to bring this back in. All right. So the original problem is that there's guys out there that can't afford to take care of their kids by using child support as a weapon.
Well, you can't afford to make them.
But exactly. If your ass don't make at least this, you shouldn't even be paying. I mean, you shouldn't even be making babies. That's when I said, if you go out there and you have unprotected sex, be expected to go to be accountable for everything that comes with that. All right. So if you make $15,000 a year, understand that there is a certain percentage that's going to come out your check if she has a baby. So you need to protect yourself. Either you practice abstinence or you practice protection. Now, we all understand that something can happen by using protection. So what we need to do is we need to stop making excuses for these dudes out here that saying, oh, man, I got 3 baby mamas. Okay, bro, then guess what? You might need to get you a vasectomy and stop doing all this mess, man. I am not going to sit here and feel sorry for somebody that can't pay their child support, because unless they took the sperm out of you and put it in her and made you pay that child support, bro, that was a willing decision that you made. I have no, I don't feel any kind of way or no sympathy for nobody that can't afford to pay their child support.
The thing about it, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the thing about it is when you, a lot of people get into these situations and you don't really know the person you're having a kid with. You know, you just really, you really don't. Or it might be your first kid and you don't know how they're going to be as a parent. So you took that chance. You had that child. He or she is a terrible parent. Why would you continue to put yourself in a position to continually do it? Is my question.
Because a lot of people do it for the wrong reasons.
I knew
Security, they do
I
it,
knew better.
you know, they got hooked. You know, yes, hooked.
That's why they put them on child support, because they got hooked.
No, she's saying, why do we?
Why do you keep having kids?
Right.
Why
I agree
not?
with that.
Why not?
Why put? I work with children, right? I work with children. I work with young kids, right? And it's sad when, and nothing is wrong with having a lot of kids if you can afford to take care of them. But it's sad when the kids don't have, and the mom can't or dad can't give it to them because you are continuing to have kids you cannot afford. That's sad.
Mhm.
And I want to
I
go
agree
back
with that.
up to something Mr. Sammy says.
Yeah,
Mr.
'cause
Sammy, you know, I have much love for you.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I agree with this comment. If the father is not in the home, he needs to be on child support. I
Exactly.
don't agree.
disagree.
I
Totally.
don't agree.
I don't either.
I don't agree
Nope.
with that
No.
because a lot of fathers that's not in the home are taking care of their kids. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
So I don't feel
Right.
like just because the father is not in the home that he needs to be on child support. I thank
Exactly.
God my son's father does what he's supposed to do from
Right,
day
right.
one. Never had any issues. Never even thought about going to the court system for child support.
Right.
None of that, because he always been there and did what he's supposed to do when it came to my
Mhm.
son.
Okay,
Even
so-
though we're not in the same house together. So I give a shout out to my son's father
Right.
because
agree
he
too.
You're
always
one.
did what he was supposed to do.
That's one instance. You could probably throw a rock at any direction, and there's 5 women over there that they're if it wasn't for child support, they wouldn't do nothing for their kids.
I agree.
We can sit
Yeah,
here.
I'm not saying. I'm
No,
just saying
I'm
I don't
going to
agree.
stand on that. You know, 5 women right now that if it wasn't for child support, they wouldn't get nothing.
I
And that's
agree.
all them daddies do.
But the system to me
Yeah.
is
I'm
to
not.
me,
I'm not
what
going
I
to
was
agree.
talking about.
Again, Victor is saying something that is true, but it's not a. I'm not going to paint that with a broad brush. That's why Veronica's trying to say, and that's
Yeah.
why the good father. First of all, the good fathers don't get elevated, and the fathers that are out there that are not in the house that do the right thing don't get elevated. Yes, but the ones that are not doing good, they get talked about the most, rightfully so. But don't dog out the men that are doing what they need to be in the house or not in the house. That's all I'm saying.
right. I agree with that.
So we all agree that when you have, as soon as you have unprotected sex, it comes with a responsibility, right?
Yeah.
We all agree it comes with something.
Having
So-
sex in general, because having protected sex, condoms do pop. So at the end of the day, condoms do pop. What happens at the end of the day with
How
that?
often that happens?
More
Okay,
likely
so
than not.
let's-
they-
let's-
I mean, they
It
let's-
happens. Trust me.
All right, so let's stay on subject, right?
They
So
still sell
we can
condoms.
we can follow the rabbit down the hole. So let's
Got it.
Always
stay on
ask
the
it.
center lane. So we all agree that, okay, so if you have a child, there's certain responsibilities that the parents have, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, so as a father, you understand that if this woman wants to put you on child support, unless y'all married, then guess what? There is nothing you can do about it. So we as men, if you don't want to be on child support, then guess what you need to do? You don't need to have no kids until you are with the woman you decide you want to be with for the rest of your life. So you can shake your head and you can agree with whatever you want to, Veronica, but you can let these dudes off the hook. But the thing about it is, I'm tired of these, I want to say the N-word so bad,
Some of these guys are gonna take what you're saying, Victor, and say, you know what? I'm gonna start dealing with women that make more money than me, and then what I'm gonna do is put their ass on child support, and then you see the game that is being played out here. Stop dogging. It goes. This is not a game out here.
I don't think it's
not a game out here, man. With these kids, man, we're playing with kids' lives out here, and we just targeting men, and I just can't sit here and keep dogging out men.
We're not targeting men. I don't think we're targeting men.
I think you are.
Victor's targeting men.
I think the letter that came in was about a man, so we just kind of focused on that. Like there are some women who are terrible,
and not held accountable. And they're not held accountable,
right?
But nobody hardly talks about that. But nobody hardly talks about
on child support versus women. I'm pretty sure there's a statistic somewhere. Just look it up.
I'm looking up. I'll let you know what the.
So then we'll talk about the majority.
Black family or all, just everybody.
It don't matter. Pick Asians. I don't care who you pick, but there's more men on child support than women. I've been to family court. I have.
But just don't say black men because.
Right. That's why I said, that's why I'm.
Because you just said you want to say the N word so bad.
Whatever.
There's more.
That's why I'm saying you're just looking. Thank you, Veronica.
Whatever subject or topic we talk about, we can argue male versus female perspective. But I mean, I don't know the statistics, but I'm thinking more often than not, it would be the man on child support. I'm thinking. And even if we look at the family dynamic, more women, we're not saying there are not any men who are custodial parents, but more women would probably be the custodial parent. So the burden falls on the woman more often than not. From my little bubble that I see, I can say it that way.
And from the bubble,
so here we go. Here's the percentage. So women that receive child support, 56% awarded. Men who receive child support, 41%. So it does prove that more men is on child support, but it's not as big as what you think. You think you was gonna see something 80-20? You thought you were gonna see that? Because it ain't that. It ain't that.
Where you got that statistic from?
From the Bureau of Census, my brother. Bureau of Census.
So let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and verify what you just researched.
It's right here, brother. www.census.gov.
But me personally, in this case, I just didn't feel like
I'm sorry, Deanna. That's the stereotype that we play into.
I'm good. Go ahead.
But I didn't, and maybe you guys, I just didn't feel like we were dogging the man. I just didn't feel like that.
No,
I really didn't.
You wasn't, but Victor was coming hard at the man.
Exactly.
Because I feel like,
because the first thing that pulls up, it says dads represent 85% of child support providers. So I'm gonna keep searching till I find what you said.
But
I just told you it's at census.gov.
Okay.
Women shouldn't, in my opinion, as a woman, I feel like we don't have to keep having children, especially if we see that a lot of the guys or whomever we've dealt with are not taking care of some of the kids. Like, why would we continue to have kids? Like, why would we, as a woman? I can control that.
Definitely. They need to have responsibilities as well. It's not all on the men. I mean, we have stuff out there that prevent us from having kids. So we just can't put all the responsibility on the men. But what we're saying is when these kids are coming into this world, that man need to step up to the plate and be a part of it as well. Do not put it all on that woman.
Absolutely. These kids suffer. It's sad, man. It's sad. When you work with kids, they really don't understand. And for Tina, I'm gonna you may feel like I'm harping on the black man or whatever, but I'm speaking from what I've seen in the school system. Working in public school, lower income public area, right? I never really saw black fathers. Majority black. I never really saw black fathers.
Let me respond to that.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So then I went to what I would call private sector. Almost every child had a father there.
Right. Okay, let me respond to that. So first of all, I'm just going to respond to that, but just to go to Victor, there's another website, Very Well Family, 39.6% of custodial single fathers are awarded child support. 52.7% of custodial single mothers were awarded child support. So again, it's not what it's the stereotype is out here that it beats up on men. And the way you was coming, we was playing into that. And that's why I jumped at you, Vic, because you are right. More men are on child support. But the way you talked about it is the stereotype that is presented out here, especially in the Black family.
That's at 85% on my computer.
I don't know where you're getting that from. I just gave you 2 websites, but let me respond to Deanna's situation. Deanna, I totally agree with what you just said. One of the professionals at my children's school, when they were in elementary school, because both my daughters are grown now, she called me in and she said that one of the things, and I was on the PTA, I was the vice president of the PTA, and I was on the school leadership team here in New York in my kids' school. And one of the things that we did not see is the participation of the fathers. But that didn't mean the fathers wasn't in the home or that they didn't want to be involved or were not involved with the children, but you didn't see them. So she came to me and she said, what could we do or create? I created a program where men participated more, and I got more fathers to participate, and I geared it towards men, fathers, so that they could participate. And you know what they said? They said they did drop the ball. They did say that, but they also said it was great to have something that was geared towards them, that they could participate with their children. So I do agree with you, Deanna. And I think that in the school system, we got to do better jobs as parents and as teachers and professionals in the school system.
But the custodial parent does not have that option to not show up. He
wouldn't know that because he ain't never been on child support.
To not show up, to not pay. Like, let's say this woman's situation, the son got a field trip, I don't know, and mama doesn't have it. In that instance, he's not thinking about that. All he knows is mom doesn't have it. Like, mom can, or the custodial parent, I'll say, because we don't want to gear it towards one sex, but they don't have that option to not show up.
Sometimes in a household, the mom and the dad don't have it.
And
you understand? You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes in the household, the mom and dad don't have it. That's why, as a community, we pull together. So if my friend up the street, Richard, didn't have it, we worked together as parents as when we were kids. I'm not talking about when my kids were kids, but we looked out for one another because we believed in that motto: it takes a village to raise a child. That's what we did.
But it's different now.
I'm not saying. I mean, my kids. I don't think it was different back then. I saw a lack of input from fathers. I did see that. I'm not saying that you don't.
Support? You know why there's child support? Is because men would have babies and leave the women and leave their family. So they had to come up with a system for child support.
And because why?
You can sit here and say you didn't see it, but if you didn't see it, you were doing. Wait!
I didn't say that. I never said that. I never said I didn't see it. I said I did see that. I did see it. I saw that in my kids' school. What are you saying? I said I saw a lack of participation. I did not. I said I saw a lack of participation of men, especially in my kids' school. I saw a lack of participation in Black men. That's why I was called in to create a program to get more men to participate. That's what I said, Victor. Okay. I did say that part. But yes, why child support was created? Because why? Men didn't take care of their responsibility, and they were the main breadwinners. But this was way back when women stayed home.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay,
you took it to the kid,
but things are different now.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. No. Yes, it is.
You're right. You're right.
That's right. All I'm just saying is that there are some folks that use the system and that are career take advantage or abusers of the system, and I call them out. And some of those are women. Quiet, crickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to some of these comments, shall we? Let's see. There's so many coming through. Let me see. I'm gonna go back towards the top a little bit. Tracy says the system told me if I wanted more help, have another child. What?
That's true. But see, if you not on the system, y'all see, and that's the thing. You know, sometimes we'll talk about stuff that we know nothing about and we assume. So there's an income in the state of South Carolina. I don't know about any other state, but in the state of South Carolina, if you make this, they set a guideline saying, okay, if you make $30,000 a year, you should be able to support this many children. So if you have one child and you're struggling and you make $30,000, they're gonna say you don't need no assistance. All right. So that just forces people to money manage just a little better. So I think a lot of women, and I'm not harping on her, but I understand where sometimes you put yourself in a hole, or this guy made you put yourself in a hole, and you just need a little more help to get out of that so you can start, you know, saving or whatever. But that is not the system's fault. All right. If right now, if I was to, you know, go out there and do something stupid, I'm like, well, how am I gonna make my truck payment? Well, guess what, Vic? You know what I'm saying? Nobody told you to go get this expensive ass truck over here when you can go get you a cash car and still get the work. So I think that's when I think women do use it as a weapon, but she is entitled to do that. Just like how we love on our taxes, them child tax credits, and we love those deductions coming off our taxes. That is a right that we have as an American citizen. So my thing is, if my child needs something, I'm going to do it. But I also understand that my child creates bills at my children's mother house, and I also need to contribute to that household because piece of me is still over there in that household.
I agree.
But I feel like just because you have rights at a certain things, you shouldn't take advantage of people. That's how
How is that taking advantage of somebody?
Because if the man is doing what he's supposed to do, don't put that brother up on child support.
So what is all right? So
Thank you.
Let me say this. All right, so
Thank you.
let's say I make $10,000 a month. I mean, excuse me, $10,000 a year, and Fatim makes $1 million a year. Should we both pay the same amount of child support?
No.
Nope.
Why?
Because I make more money.
Wait a minute. Hold up now. It shouldn't matter.
Yes, it does.
But why?
Because
we're trying to make, wait a minute, we for the child. Now, if we go by y'all logic, we should pay the same thing.
No, I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, no one. What are you talking about? No
You
one
see,
says-
in New York, we don't do that. New York is a percentage. So one child is 17%. The second child may be 21%. I'm just telling you, it's not about how much. It's the percentage of what you make. That's what they pull. So how many children you have, they have a percentage, and then that goes in. So you make 10,000. That and there's one child, Victor. You're gonna pay 17%, and I'm gonna pay 17%. But my 17% is gonna be more because I make more than yours.
How you know it's 17%?
I know because I have a family member that came home with a check that was $17.
Okay, so he knew that. So if you know that and never paid child support, I'm pretty sure everybody else in New York knows what the percentage is. So going into a relationship, if you have unprotected sex, everybody in New York is 17%. So if you're not willing to pay 17%, wrap it up.
So this is what I'm asking. Like when you ask the question, should somebody making $1 million and somebody making $10,000 pay the same thing? The person who's making $10,000 is doing what they can towards child support, because if you're making $10,000 a year, you said you can't really afford, to be honest, you can't afford to live, and you really can't afford to take care of child.
So
there's a threshold. There's a threshold.
You're contributing what you can. So the person making $1 million, are they just supposed to contribute the bare minimum when they can do better than just get by? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this: so the guy that's making $10,000 a year, should he be out here making babies?
I don't think so, in my opinion. But it happens.
But I get it. But that's the point I'm trying to make. If you can't afford to take care of a child before you start having sex, guess what you need to do? Not have a child. You ever seen? All right, so none of my kids, except maybe one, was planned. So there, you go into a situation, you need to have a plan. If you don't have no savings or y'all ain't talking about kids and you just out there shooting, blindly, then that's just what's gonna happen. So be man enough to stand there and say, I had a baby with her. I'm gonna take care of my child, whatever comes with it.
Yeah. When you was young, was you thinking like that?
Yes, I really was.
So when you was like 18, 19,
I wasn't having
14 when you was having sex, was you thinking like that?
I got all my kids with one woman, so I don't fall in that category.
I'm not saying you fall in that category. I'm just saying, was you thinking that way when you was younger?
I'm telling you, I really was.
I wasn't. I understand, Veronica, what you're saying. I wasn't. I want to respond to somebody real quick. I want to respond to Noah Johnson, because Noah, it seems like, oh, Father's Day is Sunday and me and Vic should argue and debate Monday. Well, first of all, hopefully you saw the beginning of the show. And what we're doing is we are debating an issue because there was a letter that was written here. We talked about good fathers. We uplift those fathers, but we are also debating a situation. And this is a conversation and a problem within our community and in society at the end of the day. So it's not about us just arguing and debate and arguing for the sake of it. It's that we're debating an issue out here. And it's a very important issue out here because there's a lot of fathers that don't stand up. But I do understand on the other side, Noah, that's why I uplift the Black fathers, the fathers, all nationality of fathers that stand up and take care of their children. And we said that at the beginning of the show.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to Noah and Marvin, I mean, they like to bring laughter to the show as well. So you can't always take what they say to heart. So
I got it.
Up off my cousin.
Who's your cousin?
Testing the mic. 1 2 1 2. I'm here to
No.
If they can type it, they are bringing it, and they bring it.
Noah Johnson is my cousin.
On Thursday. No.
If anybody bring it, I'm bringing it.
What?
We're not doing that on Thursday.
So can I just say this? I guess it's kind of in agreement with what Vic said. Like I can always.
I got bass in my voice. I always keep bass in my voice, my brother.
I can only
what we not gonna do.
Myself.
They know what they need to stop.
I had my son at 22-ish, right? Just graduated college, didn't have a good job, but I knew I had to work hard to get to where I needed to be, and I knew not to get another child. I first time, okay, yeah, you did it, whatever, but I knew not to repeat the cycle. And the system is set up for a reason, or whatever the case may be, but sometimes we got to take responsibility, and we know we can't just don't keep having them. You can enjoy being with a man or a woman and not making kids.
Well, I mean, the only way you're going to do that is wrapping it up and being on some kind of birth control pill.
Okay.
Who?
Well, we know you don't wrap it up.
I'm going there with you.
I didn't even take the wrapper off this. I need to take the wrapper off this because I don't.
Okay,
like
so if something happened and you ended up getting somebody pregnant,
then he know he going on child support and he gonna have to pay some more money.
I gotta accept my responsibilities. Just like if I go out there and I have a car accident, if I go out there and get caught drinking and driving, if I go out there speeding, there's things that come along with my decisions that I make. So I should be held accountable if I'm not gonna call a child a mistake, but all I'm saying is for my actions, there are equal and opposite reactions. So if I go out there and have a baby and me and this woman ain't married and we're not on good terms, guess what? I'm gonna get put on child support. Now, I don't want to bring religion into it, but if we follow the good book like we were supposed to, there would be no child support.
Well,
because everybody would be okay.
Everybody don't follow the good book. That's the problem.
That's why I said if we did follow the good book, if everybody followed the good book, then we would not even have this show. We'd all be hugged up with the one woman that we first slept with. There wouldn't be no doggone child support or none of that. But because the two women on this show dragged our ass in the Garden of Eden and made us bite that apple, there's child support.
Yeah. I have a question for
You ain't
all
ate
three
that
of y'all.
apple.
I have
Y'all the dummy. Y'all the dummy that bit the apple.
Because you failed to be.
God
the
told you not to bite the apple.
I got a serious
You had
question for
that
all
thong
everybody, but I want to throw it to the ladies first, and then I wanted Victor to come in on this question too. Two people get together. We do it your way, Victor. They're not married, okay? They're not even a couple. They get together, they have unprotected sex. But before they have unprotected sex, they have a discussion. And they both say, look, we both in school, we're trying to lead our way to get where we're going. And I don't want to have a baby. The man said, I don't want to have a baby. And the woman says, I don't want to have a baby neither, right? Accident happened, she gets pregnant. When I say something, or the unprotected sex, she gets pregnant. Now they both agreed before she got pregnant that they both agreed that, look, we don't want children at this stage of the game. So now she's pregnant and now she changes her mind. Now the brother is saying, I don't want this child. I don't want the responsibility. I don't want it. And we discussed this first. We discussed it before we even laid together. And you agreed to this, but now you change your mind. And now she brings this baby into the world. She knew that he didn't want to be a father. He didn't want to be responsible for this. And they both agreed. How do you handle a situation like that?
The baby is here now. The baby is here. Step up to the plate and do what you got to do.
And I think that happens a lot. I really do think that happens a lot. But you have to protect yourself first. Like, it doesn't matter what I say or a person say. It is your responsibility to protect you. That still is his fault too, because you can't take that at face value, because I may feel that way. I may very well in that moment feel like I don't want to have a kid, but I may feel that way. But once I'm in that situation, it could change. But it is his responsibility and her responsibility to protect themselves first, so that they're not in that situation.
So real quick, before you go there, real quick, because I want y'all to answer this. So what happens when the father wants the child and the mother says, no, I don't want a child, and aborts the baby, but the father said, I want the baby, I'll take the child? Why isn't the man word accepted in this case? Because the woman carries the baby?
It's not his body.
So then why do you all want to have this equal thing when it comes down? So the man has no choice in this, and then they got to deal with whatever your choice is, because
they do have a
carrying
choice.
It.
You do have a choice.
Put a condom on.
And the condom breaks.
So I'm
put two on.
Put that back on that bit.
See, so I'm a tell. This is what I say about your that's my secret document. This is what I'm gonna say about this.
I like that.
Everybody on this show right now that's watching this show, I'm gonna give y'all $1,000 tomorrow. All right, I promise you. Huh?
Who believes that?
Okay, so if you try to take me to court by what I just said, it's probably not really gonna hold up. So a conversation means nothing unless you got something written in writing that's notarized. So if you want to sign a sexual agreement with me, then I have no problem signing that sexual agreement. But I really think that if somebody anybody can change their mind. If she wants to abort the baby and I want her to keep it, guess what? I have no rights to her body. And she can do whatever it is that she wants to do. So if we have a conversation, that conversation means nothing. It doesn't. It's just a risk you take.
Like, but I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's just facts. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's facts.
I know. I'm just telling you, I've spoken with some guys that, I looked at them crazy, but I understand they went off the grid. They went off the grid. They was like, we didn't want this child. I didn't want this child. I didn't want this responsibility. And you're not coming after me because at the end of the day, so they went off the grid. They went and they got paid under the table. I'm just telling you what I'm just telling you. Right. I got that. I got that. But I'm just telling you that the woman has a right because it's her body. And when a man says, I don't want this responsibility, and I told you this, and Victor said you got to sign a contract, not every guy, but I've known some guys that went off the grid and get paid under the table, not off the books, so they don't have to pay child support.
And the child is paying the price because you decided not to.
Wait a minute. So let's back up for a second. I remember Veronica put maybe a minute or two video out where we was all saying shit taken out of context. And I remember the last thing that you said was, what was that? Or you want me to say it? Any man that don't take care of his child is a no good, and you did like that in the camera. I remember that. I'll never forget that.
I said a man that does not take care of his.
You didn't say that. He said that.
Oh, Fatine said that.
I
said a man that what? I said what?
A man that doesn't take care of his kids is a no good, and you did like that.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, right. I'm making a point. I'm making a point. I said I'm making a point that some men, because they don't want that responsibility, have went off the grid. I didn't say it was right. I'm just showing you that some men look at the system that it's a disadvantage to them at the end of the day. I know I stand by what I said. If you make a child, that's your responsibility and you should stand up to it. I said that. But what I'm saying is there are some men that say in the beginning, after you said you had this conversation and you said that conversation doesn't mean anything, and now this child is here in the world, like Veronica said, now the child is here and deal with it. Some men is like, hell with that. You're not taking me through this system like this. And no, you're not going to drag me through this system like this because I got 2 children over here and blah, blah, blah. I got it about the responsibility. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
There's no excuse because you know. I can say whatever, but you know what it takes to not have a kid if you already have kids. So
I know y'all was saying a different tune if men took advantage and started laying with women.
Taking advantage.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because I'm telling you, if men started having children with women that made more money, because I've seen it. Didn't you see Mary J. Blige situation with her husband? Not about children involved, but that you saw him sue for child support. And what did Mary say? Mary said she will never marry a guy that makes less than her. So I'm just saying there are some men there's some men out there that will milk the system. So that's why I'm saying be careful what you're saying now.
All the time.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It goes both ways. So stop. That's why I said, Victor, you got to be careful when you beat up on men.
No,
because
why is it beating up when we state?
It's a fact.
It's not, to me. It's not beating up. It's just stating whatever it is.
Got it. I'm good. I'm done. I done made my point.
I'm gonna beat you up just a little bit more now. And then
you ain't beating me up, brother. I'm
gonna ease up off of you. So you said in that snippet that I'm going to share in a few minutes.
Okay.
That you shared in a few minutes that men, if a man is don't take care of his kids, he's a no good so and so.
But I just said that just now too. You ain't got to bring a snippet.
In the same breath, you are defending a man who can't afford to take care of his kids.
I'm not defending a man. I'm giving. When you give an example of something, don't mean I'm defending it. I'm giving you an example of something. So I'm just giving you an example because there's a lot of scenarios that are in play. This is not cut and dry. Baby here, parents take care of it. There's some men that are going to run. There's some women are going to drop that baby on their moms. That some women are going to drop that baby on their father. So it's just different scenarios here, Vic. But that's what I'm just trying to discuss.
I'm just talking about the men right now.
I hear you.
So the guys that don't pay child support, that fall off the grid, what are they?
Sorry.
If they are sorry if they can take care of their children.
No if. Are they sorry or not?
let's back this up. If they don't take care of their children, they are sorry. But don't mix my words when I said earlier that if a man gives what he can, if the woman wants 100 and can give 60, why take that man and drag him into court for child support where he's giving what he can give? That's all I'm asking.
So, but falling off the grid is not giving anything.
I'm not talking about that. I didn't make that point. I just made that point for Deanna. I made the other point earlier that if a man can give 60 and the woman wants 100, and if he can, that's all he can give, and the woman pulls him in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying right there.
Let me say this. If I make $85,000 a year, right, and I live check to check, and then for Team, he makes $25,000 a year, and he live with his mother, and he don't have nothing but a cell phone bill. Who should pay the most child support?
The one that's making the most money.
But I live check. I can't. I live check.
Well, you can. Yes, you. Well, the judge will tell you. I'm sorry, Vic, but you're gonna have to readjust your budget because you make X amount of dollars, and this situation, you're gonna have to pay more money, bro.
So, in that same logic, if I make $1 million and this guy makes 10,000, he's got to pull his weight too, right? Because I'm gonna catch y'all in all this stuff. I was sitting here right now and all this fictitious stuff that y'all kept saying that made absolutely no sense to me. So I'ma just need for y'all, when you say it, to just stand behind it now. So you say 17%. I think 17% is a good number. Mm-hmm. All right. So if you have that second child, that's 17%. All right. So right now we sitting on what, 34%? Yes. So if we sitting on 34% of my check coming out, you really think that third child, I'm going to go up to 40? I mean, was that 51%? Are you, or 41, whatever the number is? Right. You really think that I really want to think about that third child, or I'm just going to go out there and shoot blind? So if I go out there and shoot blind, guess what's going to happen after that? That 51% is going to come out. So then guess what happens if I shoot it again? That's 67% of my check. So then at some point in time, the only way you can get to a man's, you get a man's attention, you start playing with his pockets. So I'm going to tell you right now, all these guys out here that's having these free babies, you need to learn some responsibility.
And so does that woman.
You really gonna fix victim blame?
I'm glad a woman said that. I'm glad a woman said that.
Yeah.
You really?
The woman needed to take blame as well.
Thank you, Veronica.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Veronica.
Okay, so
both need to take it.
So if Veronica, if you don't have any kids, and I got 5 kids right now,
I know
you don't have any kids, huh?
I know not to get pregnant by you.
But you don't know that because I'm off the grid.
Well, that makes sense.
I'm off the grid, so you don't know that. So you decide to take a couple Jell-O shots and all this stuff, and I'm in the club with my flower shirt on, and I'm smelling like $2,500 because
that's a turn off right there.
I still got my PPP loan scam. So I decide to take you behind the trash can and slide your drawers over.
Hell no.
But I'm just saying, you done had some Patron shots, and I got $2,500.
I still ain't going behind no trash can.
Well,
go ahead.
With somebody I don't know at that.
But it happens.
Okay.
So I slide your drawers over to the side, and we have a baby. All right. So you're going to sit here and say that you need to make better choices? You still a woman. We can sit here and victim shame and say, oh, she should have known better, but you still want to have fun. You didn't know this guy.
That is not a victim. You as a woman, you made a decision. Matter of fact, people will harp on the woman a little bit harder because you should carry yourself. You should know better.
She should.
Like some things, and I'm not coming for men, but some things you might can expect from a man.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, as a woman, no.
Thank
No.
you,
Right.
Deanna. I thank you.
Right.
No.
I don't care how many shots I had. You're not getting to slide my draws. What did you say, panties, or did you say draws? Because y'all love some draws.
Draw
Slide my
Behind the
draws
trash can.
the big ones.
behind a trash can. It's not gonna happen.
I'm a 2-finger slide that thing over like
That G string. That's fine.
No. Absolutely
I'm
not.
done. Like, I'm done.
But what y'all are saying is what Avery said, and you want to put Avery's comment. You see Avery's comment, Veronica?
Yeah, I was looking at that. Can't put all the responsibilities on sorry men because some women will have a baby from a man that didn't take care of the kids he had before that woman. We all need to make better choices. That's exactly right.
That's it. Right.
We all need to make better choices.
We all got to do
all
better.
need to start being responsible. You know what I'm saying? Ladies need to, why do I hear feedback?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Ladies need to stop doing things to that man that is not really hurting that man, is actually hurting that child.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And men need to step up to the plate and take on responsibilities from having that child. A woman cannot make a child on her own.
yes,
You
can.
need to be a part of that child life. And I'm talking to somebody out there right now. If you're not in your child life, do better.
Facts.
It's Father's Day, and you need to get yourself. Father's Day is approaching us.
Mhm.
Start thinking about that child that you're not spending time with.
Right.
And I
So-
and I want to kind of agree with something that Fatine said. It's no excuse, but maybe and let's take money out of it. Maybe a guy is doing the best he knows how. Like in his mind, if I'm showing up for the big stuff, I'm a great father because he hasn't been taught.
Exactly. And things that we haven't been taught, we tend not to. We don't know unless we teach ourselves or we see someone else that we look up to in our lives.
Yeah.
But a lot of things and not only talking about when it comes to kids, but we haven't been taught because our parents didn't know to teach us. They wasn't taught. So
Right.
I get that a lot of men.
I got a
So if I
question
show
for
up-
Victor.
If I show up to church on Easter and church or that Christmas service and the New Year's prayer, am I going to heaven?
Hey,
No.
Church you
does not determine if you go to heaven or hell.
It
you don't
does.
even have to go to church.
But I'm playing. I'm there for the big
I
holiday.
know.
So Victor, my question to you right now. I'm not being funny. I'm being serious on this one. So when we started this show, Veronica came, a co-host, and said, what is a good father? And like you said, you really can't say what's a good father. Your children could honestly say, or if you are a good father. Now, majority of the show, you talked about what a bad father was. So giving you another opportunity, my brother, can you say or give an example what a good father is? Because you gave so much about what a bad dad is. I think you could give a little bit more what a good dad is
I can't.
from your opinion.
I can't tell you what a good father is because no matter. So if I take my son, if I sign my son up for football and my son wants to play, if I sign my son up for football and I'm at every game, but he don't want to play football, am I really a good father?
So Victor,
If I'm making him do something, what I'm saying is I'm sitting here. We're sitting here talking about child support. I never said that. All I said was you're not being accountable for your actions. That's all I said. I really never said you was a bad father. Those words never came out of my mouth.
All right, I got
We
that.
just-
But what
we
I'm
just-
saying
We
is
want
that
you to define what a good
define.
father
You
in
can't.
your terms.
If you was in
In
junior
your-
high. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But in your terms, define a good father. You
I
define what a
also- so I
deadbeat
can't-
was.
So
Yeah.
what do you
No,
do
no,
that
no.
you feel makes you a good father?
I never said.
Let's put it that way.
I never said that person was a deadbeat. I never said that either. All we were doing, we were talking about child support, and I was defending why a mother should put every father on child support. I never said that that's a bad quality to not pay. I didn't say that.
But I got that. But the point is that I'm just saying that it just seems a little lopsided that you're a grown man now. And I think that if you had a assignment in junior high school and had to define what a good father is, I think you could give some good adjectives. And I think you as a grown man know what, if you saw another father doing the right thing, you can't describe that. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I'm not going to, hey, if you can't, it's cool. But I just think that you could give better. That's my opinion.
That's a loaded question, because if I sit here and say, you know, a father's, you know, spending time with his child is a good, but if that child don't want to, I mean, I can what if it all day long. I can't tell you what a good father is. I really can't, but I can try to describe mine. But me and him had a real rocky relationship at the beginning. Anybody who knows my life knows what I've been through as a
But child. Do you consider yourself to be a good father to your children?
I think that I'm okay.
And then describe that. Describe the good things, the positive things.
I can't tell you what's good in my kids' life. They would have to come up here and say, this is what my daddy does good, and this is what my daddy does bad. And from there, I would make a accurate assumption of what they think a good father is. Now, in my life, yes, my father did it. My father did some things that I wasn't too proud of, and he did some things that I was proud of. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that that was my father. So for me to sit up in here and say, you know what I'm saying, what's a good father? I can't say that, because every child has different needs. So I can't really answer that. I can't say what's a good mother. Because you know, there's mamas out there that's doing their best, that don't spend time with their kids because they have 2 and 3 jobs. So for somebody to say she always leaving them kids at the house by themselves and this, that, and the other, but you don't know why she's leaving them children at the house.
She's a good mother because she's out there working to provide for her kids. But that's a good mother.
But wait a minute, you still leaving these kids unattended. So you can spend this thing any kind of way you want to. So you're going to sit here and say a mother that's working 14 out of 24 hours is a good mother. You may say that's a good mother because she's trying to provide. I'm going to tell her, you need to step your game up and get you something better so you can stick with these kids a little more. So you can spin it any kind of way you want to. It's not whether the fact of what's right or wrong. It's just how you look at it. So
it depends on how old the kids.
You said what?
Okay. So
are you talking about younger kids?
It doesn't matter how old the kids are. I mean, to me, people say a child 4, 5, and 6 need their mother. But in my eyes, the older kids need both parents in their life.
Well, let me just say this.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I think all kids need parents in their lives, no matter how old they are.
Right. Now, what I did is I said earlier what I thought a good father was. So I said it. I don't need to Google what a good father is. I had a good father. I can give that as an example. I've seen my friends that had good fathers. I can give that as examples. That don't mean that they didn't have faults. That it's not being a great father. But I just put out here and some of these things, and I'm just a couple of things real quick, Veronica. A good father teaches his children to appreciate things. A good father is a person who is open-minded. He accepts that his kids are not exactly like him, and don't put that pressure on to be like him. He spends quality time with his children. He leads by example, a good example. He's supportive and loyal. He challenges kids. He pushes them, but he doesn't push too hard. He teaches his kids lessons so that they can learn, because in life, if we don't teach our children and we let someone else or the streets teach our children, they don't have the best interest that if you are the parent and you are a good parent, that you're going to put into your children. That is, to me, is an example that can be looked upon as a good father. I just gave a couple of examples. I'm not going to walk away on this show without me as a Black man not giving some examples what my perspective of what a good father is. I mean, my daughter just walked in. I mean, I could put her on the mic. I mean, she probably don't want to, but at the end of the day, I think your children gives back to you what you put into them. And at the end of the day, and when I see my children giving me the love and the hugs and I love you, daddy, and when they say that they look at me as an example of the men they choose, I've done something right. I'm not perfect. I've made my mistakes in life, but at the end of the day, they realize that we're not perfect and we all are learning. Even as a parent, I'm still learning, just like they are young adults and they're still learning.
Can a prostitute be a good mother?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
As long as we can agree on that, I'm cool.
I'm kind of scrolling up to see what comments that I can still see on my end. Shanika says, I was about to say what Miss Veronica said. Everyone don't put their father on child support just to do it.
Exactly, Cheryl. Exactly. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In some cases, it's done because the father isn't doing anything for the child. And that's exactly right. You know, when it comes to that, definitely need to be on child support if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. If that mother is out there struggling on her own when she didn't bring that baby in this world on her own, yeah, take him up for child support, sis. If he's not doing what he's supposed to do, and vice versa, man. If you have a woman in your life, a mother that's not doing what she's supposed to do, take her up for child support. If you're struggling to do the things that need to be done for that child, you need help. Both of you should be doing what that child needs. Both
And see,
why are you looking like
that? I would like to say this sheds light on the fact that we need to educate ourselves about the whole system, because the system was not set up for us to be successful, first of all. So now that we know that, we shouldn't continually put ourselves in these positions to risk even having to be on the system, because we can't control if a woman decides to put us on a man can't control, or vice versa. The other person can't control who decides to put them on child support. So know that the system was not designed for us to succeed. So we have to educate ourselves and become better people.
Right. And I see Cheryl's comment. And yes, that is true. A lot of people may say that they are good parents, but the kids might have a different outlook on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah.
I agree.
Like the lady said in the letter, where this man, her son father, he'll get on social media and act like he's the father of the year, but in reality, he's not doing a darn thing for the child.
So she say. So she say. See, I'm a fan of the truth. I'm gonna need the whole story, because there are some women that don't want the father in the child's life, and they will make it extremely hard for that father to be in that child's life. But as a man, you still should try. You shouldn't give up, no matter how hard she makes it or tries to make it. I mean, you have rights to that child too. So I think sometimes guys give up, or sometimes guys they look at a cop out, because you can sign your rights away in South Carolina. I don't know about any other state, and that's a cop out to my eye. That's my eyes. You made this child, and this woman to tell you to sign your rights over,
can do it.
and then you can procreate however you want to.
I just don't understand how someone can be walking around knowing that they have a child that they don't want to see or take care of, don't want to see.
Innocent
child. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, then we wouldn't have a foster system if it wasn't a bunch of people like that.
That's true. But we don't understand it. We're not saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Yeah, like.
Well, you got to think now. Some people are not mentally capable of taking care of the kid.
I agree.
Yeah.
You got some situations where you have somebody in the home that's, screwed up, and you have to remove that child from the situation.
That's different. Yeah.
It's really not, because that parent is not protected. Let me just stop right there. So anyway, there's so many different scenarios we can come up with on why somebody's not taking care of the child.
Right.
So
I'll say this. Yeah, I'll say this, and if I don't know if this person is watching, so I'm not gonna say personal name, but I know a person that had a child at a very young age, and felt that he was not ready for that child. And as time went on, the mother of that child came to that individual, the father, and said she was getting married and that she wanted for the biological father, if he would sign his rights over, because her husband now wanted to be the father of that child. He signed those rights over. And it's amazing that when that child became an adult, I don't know what the conversation was with his biological father, but they have a relationship, and they have a relationship to today.
And
So at
it-
the end of the day, you just never know how things may turn out. Sometimes it looks bad, but sometimes it has its way of working itself out.
And
Sometimes.
listen, at the end of the day, if God want those two to have a relationship, they're going to have a relationship, point blank, period, whether he signed his rights over or what.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. When that child get to when that child is old enough to understand and old enough to understand conversations with that parent, and he wants to forgive that parent for not being in their life, you have that right to accept that is the father or that is the mother who was not in their life when they was coming up. But if that child wants to accept them in their life, they have that right.
That's
to
right.
do so.
And the same way as Victor said, that a woman has a right that if the father is not taking care of that child, to take him, to court and apply for child support. But there are some women that I applaud that when they know that the father is trying, and she may not be getting everything up to par, but know that man, that the system, because you got to realize, at least in New York, that if the system takes that 17%, Vic, or if it's 2 children, 34%, that woman don't get that whole 34%. They don't get that. So at the end of the day, some women realize, when Mr. Sammy talked about the welfare system is very vicious. And that's why I said welfare, and you turn it around, it says farewell to the black man or the man out of the picture for a woman to receive that assistance. Again, I agree with Victor. If the man is not doing what he needs to be doing, and he's capable of doing something, and he doesn't do nothing, then yes, she should utilize the system against him. But if a man is trying, then I think the woman should, if they can work that out, work it where you don't put and drag that man through that system. It's a vicious system.
I want everybody dragged. Everybody. If you had a child, I want you on child support, whether y'all married or not.
That's bull. Don't get me cursing, boy. I'm about to say this Father's Day, boy.
I
Don't
have
get me
a,
cursing.
It is not Father's Day.
It's about Father's Day. It's
cousin.
Father's Day weekend, baby. Don't get me cursing, man, Victor. Come through that
I
damn
want everybody
screen
on
and
child
choke
support.
you,
I
man.
want everybody.
I love Victor, but I'm gonna choke him, man.
I have a cousin who makes a very lucrative income, and he has a child, and he kind of says a lot of the things that Vic says, and I guess I'm guessing it's like Vic said, if you are not on it, you don't have a leg to stand on, kind of thing. So
I'm
guess
glad I'm not on it. I'm glad I don't have to be the example. I'm glad I'm not
Okay.
on it. So
And
shame in my game.
But you could have been, had you had a woman that said, you know what?
I could have been, but if I was gonna do the right thing, but unless it was a vicious situation,
That's why you got to be careful who you sleep with.
There you go.
yeah, that's it. That's it.
How about that?
That's it.
That's part.
Jesus. Because we all have made bad decisions in our lives.
Hallelujah.
Oh,
Lord
God.
Jesus.
Thank you for your grace.
Yeah, I gotta say thank
Thank you,
God,
Lord.
'cause
I'ma tell you
I
what.
could have had a lot of kids out there.
I feel like the money that I do spend on child support, I'd pay it 3-4 times because my children are priceless. Spending time with them is priceless. So shit, they could take the whole check if they want it. You know what I'm saying? But it really, I'm not going to put a monetary value on my children. So with that being said, the government says, Vic, you are responsible for X amount of dollars per week to come out your check to give to my children's mother. Okay, cool. I pay that. But that's not all I do. That doesn't make me a better father. That doesn't make me a worse father. That don't make me a better man or anything. That's just what I just choose to do. Because by the court system, you're a good father if you just pay this.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, my children still need.
Mm-hmm.
So if my kids are just happy with me just paying child support, you know what I'm saying? I'm still not satisfied with me just paying child support.
I feel that you're a good father. Go ahead.
And that's a good
I didn't mean
father.
to cut you off. Go ahead.
But I can't sit here and say I'm a good father because of this, because I'm not my own father. So I can't say that. So if my children need something, like I said, the child support is designed. Right now, my kids are at their mother's house and they watching TV and they doing this and they got clean clothes. That shit costs. But I'm not in that house. So and she has them the majority of the time. So there is a I don't want to say a stipend, but there is a percentage that I feel like she is owed because she takes care of my children the majority of the time. Now everybody don't feel that way.
I feel like if you're stepping up to the plate without someone having to put you up for child support, you're being a great father. It shouldn't have for someone to put you up on child support for you to be a great dad.
I agree.
You should want
Totally.
to do that without going to the court system.
Thank you. Bomb.
Point blank, period.
There you go. Blow it.
You
Blow
should
it up.
want that responsibility. You should want to take care of your children.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to go to a court for somebody to tell you to take care of your kids.
Some people need that push though. I ain't gonna lie to you. If it wasn't for that, I ain't gonna lie to you. Some people need that push. Because at one point in time, I tell you in a heartbeat, I wasn't shit. And if it wasn't for child support, I probably wouldn't even pay it. I would. But it took an instance while I was paying child support for me to realize that I was messing up. And I salute my son. I tell him all the time, if it wasn't for him, I'd be out here just doing whatever. I'd just be paying child support and I'd be you know what. But my son made me a better person. And I can honestly say that. And he was maybe 8 or 9 at the time and didn't realize what he said. But when he said it, it changed my whole outlook on life.
Yeah. Well, shout out to your son.
And shout out to and shout out to you.
That was a hoe.
Yeah. But shout out.
Wait a minute.
But shout out to you.
Wait a minute.
Thank you, Fatine.
No, I want to say shout out to I didn't finish what I said, so don't get.
So let's not make no.
Come on, because he heard it coming to me. Come on.
Let's not make no accusations on what
you
happened.
You wasn't shit. You just said
you wasn't.
What? So what that had to do with being a hoe?
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
But let me just say this. Shout out to you, Victor, because you said that your son made you a better man, and that was a choice. So because even though your son said certain things to you, it was a choice for you to do this or that. You could have continued in your ways, or you could have gotten better. So I commend you. There are some fathers that plan with their significant other, wife, girlfriend, whatever, of having children and know what they want to put into their children. There might be a legacy. They may have seen their father, their grandfather, even their great-grandfather stand up and be good and great fathers at the end of the day. But I still applaud you, Victor, at the end of the day, because you made a choice to do the right thing, my brother. So
appreciate it.
Give him a damn bomb.
That's a damn bomb. That is almost a hand grenade, but woo.
All right, so let's anything else y'all got on your heart before we help this lady out with the letter, which I don't know if she need any help.
Okay.
Any final thoughts on this letter? Let's not all speak at once.
Let the crickets speak.
Okay.
Just real quick. I mean, we've been around the block, up the river, and down the mountain on this one. Like you said, Veronica, and I can't take the words because you said it earlier. If the father is not doing the right thing, my thing is communicate. Communicate if you can't communicate, because it's about a relationship. It's about a relationship of this child having with his father at the end of the day. We as adults, sometimes we grow apart. Sometimes we're just not compatible, whatever the situation may be. And sometimes it can be ugly in the beginning, but we got to think of the children. What's better for the children, because they're impressionable and they see and they take. So we have to be the best example in front of them. You remember what people say, sometimes we have to act in front of our children to put the best foot forward, because that's what we want to leave them with, that impression. So if this man ain't crap, then continue being the best parent that you can be, and try not to beat that man up. All you can do is tell the truth as your child gets older, and then your child, once he becomes a young adult, will be able to have a conversation and make his decision how he moves and deals with his father.
Tiana?
I concur with the team. I mean, only advice I have is, we can't control what a person does. You did your part when for the finances, and just like Fatin said, just don't talk down on him. Your son is old enough that he knows mom's there, so you don't have to put in that extra stuff about what the father don't do, because he knows.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'll say I agree with what both of y'all said. The only problem that I have, two problems with the letter that I didn't agree with, is, like you said, you shouldn't be bashing that boy's father in front of him. But also, how does the son actually feel about his father? Because he might honestly think his father is the best thing. I know kids right now that haven't seen their father in 8-9 months, but if they daddy walk up right now, it's that's it. He is, I ain't gonna call him God, but that's daddy. And mothers can't stand that, because they say, well, I'll be with you every day, and this man can just walk up here and spend 5 minutes with you, and you talk about him for the next 6 months. So, I think that hopefully that's not the case, but that could be a case, because she did make a reference to the fact that he only comes around on special days, and that son maybe really holds his father in a higher aspect than her, because most of the time, daddy's fun, and mama's usually the one with the most structure. Mama usually has the most structure.
Tread lightly.
Mama's usually the one with the most structure. Mama is usually the one that's sometimes the disciplinarian. Mama is gonna make sure your teeth brush, your hair combed, and all this other stuff. And daddy's the one, man, let them kids do that. And that's where you can kind of blur the lines. But I really think that's why you need both parents in that child's life.
Definitely.
So, I'm doing it.
Well, there's not much left for me to say. I agree with all three of you. Only thing I'm gonna say is salute to all the fathers out there that are in their child's life. Salute to the men that stepped up to the plate and took on responsibilities of being that child father because their father wasn't there. Salute to all of you men out there that are doing the thing and taking responsibilities and doing what you're supposed to do as fathers. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. I hope you have a fabulous, awesome, fantastic Father's Day. It's all about you. Sunday. And we're not going to nag you. We're not going to, what's the word that they love to say? Yeah, we're going to let y'all have y'all peace.
You ain't going to be in it and moan, right?
Happy Father's Day to all of y'all and to the fathers. And I hope I'm looking in the camera. To the men out there that have kids that they are not taking care of. Please take a moment and think about that child. Don't think about that mother that gives you a hard time, that's always nagging you, that's always cursing you out, doing this, doing that. Don't even think about her. You think about that child that you have out here, your own blood, and you're not stepping up to the plate and taking responsibility. Think about how that child feel when he see that his friends' fathers are in their lives. Think about how that child feel when their friend dad come to school. Think about that friend that have a father to take them out to lunch, to learn them how to drive a car, to learn them how to change a tire, to learn them how to do this, how to tie a bow tie and all that, but they don't have you in their lives. You need to stop and just think about how important you could be in that child's life. So all you men that's out there that's not in your child's life, please think about making that change tonight after watching the tea. Think about how important it is for you to step up to the plate and do what you're supposed to do. I don't care how old that child is, make it right. And I'm just only speaking to the fathers because, you know, it's Father's Day weekend. I know there's moms out there that damn sure not doing what they're supposed to do as a mother. But I'm just speaking to the dads that's not in their child's life. Step up and take responsibility and do what you're supposed to do as a parent. That child needs you, no matter how old that child is. So one day between now and Father's Day, reach out to that child and try to make it right. That's all I got to say. Happy Father's Day once again to all of our viewers out there, all of you that are watching, that are fathers. Salute to you once again, to all of you great men. Victor, Fatine, happy Father's Day to you too.
Appreciate it.
Happy Father's Day, Vic.
Happy Father's Day to you too, bro. And happy Father's Day to all the women with chin hairs and hair on their toes.
And ladies.
And I don't like the fact that women can shave and trim up their eyebrows, and they can shave their underarms and shave their hoo-ha and their legs and forget all this. So ladies, this Father's Day, get all this waxed and buffed and shined.
Just mute his mic, please.
I know, I'm so getting ready to, but you know, it's Father's Day weekend. I'm gonna let him have his little moment. But ladies, let me say this to the ladies out there. We know that there's a lot of single moms out there, and we know that you are doing your absolute best. You are doing everything for your children, but please let it be about the men this Sunday. It's Father's Day. So, you know, we don't need for you to come on and be like, well, I'm the father, you know, I've been doing this. I mean, to each his
you're
own,
not.
But let that man have his moment. Shouts out once again to all the fathers out there. Thank you to all the great fathers, and happy Father's Day to my dads. Yes. Guys, thank y'all so much for watching the tea tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to be a guest on Tangy Tea of Life, you can email us, tangyteaoflife@gmail.com, or you can inbox us right here on the Tangy Tea page. If you would like to be a guest, if you have topic suggestions, just let us know, because here we talk about any and everything. Nothing is off limits. And we love for you guys to send us topics.
You said nothing is off?
You are off limits. You're done. You're done. Stick a fork in it.
Right.
Done.
Thank y'all guys so much for watching tonight. We appreciate you. Have an absolutely beautiful, wonderful, amazing Father's Day weekend. And God willing, we will see you guys back here Tuesday on the tea. Good night, guys. Thank you, Victor, Fatine. Thank you, Deanna, always for sitting in. Love you guys.
Dr. Decor.
Dr. Decor. Good night.